up, guys? How's it going? It's AF here with yet another first stream ever. So excited, also like super nervous, but working on Benimaru here tonight. So first thing I'm gonna do here is I like to use my iPad to help me color match. Right now I've got the iPad and I'm just gonna zoom in here. I'm gonna start with this like highlight color he's got going on in his hair. It's like kind of a bluish, blackish. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by using a little bit of Mars Black. Primary blue will get the job done for this. You can always add more, you can never take away. Mixing paint probably is one of the things that takes me the longest during the painting process. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more blue. We might even need to add a little bit of white to kind of get it a little bit more towards the gray. That was me just breaking my mixing brush. Yeah, that happened. Here's where we're at. Also, I just want to point out that this is actually the second time it's broken. Everything's fine. Alright, this is going to be our new mixing brush. It's kind of bigger than I want it to be, but I don't really have like a good backup right now. Super close to the color that we need. And I apologize, but yes, I will probably be mixing color a lot. There's something I'm not used to is talking while I work. So both of them feel super weird. Like I definitely see why like people struggle with this. Alright. This is going to be reasons 1 through like 10 of why I don't align with a paintbrush. It's because I'm not good at it, but we're doing it. I know so many incredible artists who line their work with just a paintbrush. Like I use the Sharpie extra fine oil-based paint pen. I don't know if it's better to try and hold it up to the camera, hold it up to y'all there, but that is my personal favorite for a liner. But I know so many artists who just use a paintbrush to line their work, and like it's truly incredible. I really like tip my hat off to those artists because it is like a skill that evades me. Like, and I don't know if like I guess I could do it if I really put the effort in. But I hate going back and having to clean up my lines. I really like doing something really good the first time. Pretty sure that's a product of my generation and the generation that comes after me. But I really hate having to go back and clean up my lines. And if I align with a paintbrush, I usually have to because I have quite the shaky hands. We'll learn as we go. I've had that outline for this painting done for so long and I've just been planning to stream and have not been working on it. So I am happy we are finally here. We are finally working on this. I'm glad that y'all could join me. Thank you guys so much for joining, by the way. Like, a second ago I had 4 viewers, and then I just checked again, and I was like, oh my god, 10 viewers? That's awesome. It's okay, I'm sorry. I'm not crying. I'm not crying. Sorry, let me read that. He said, stayed up only for your stream, didn't want to miss it. My heart. Thank you. Like, I rise and fall with the sun, but like, you try to get me up like 30 minutes earlier than my normal, and I am like straight hateful. I was thinking about doing the rest of the hair tonight, but in order to do that, I would have to clean up all of these lines, and I don't know. I don't think that would be a good idea. We should probably move on to something else. I have to like turn this chair so gently because I have the tripod leg like right underneath of me so that it looks like it's more of like an overhead view from the DSLR. I am stressing about like breaking this leg every time I turn the chair. So I was multitasking playing Duolingo, so I really didn't hear it. I need to get back on that Duolingo. I actually love Duolingo. I think it is so cute and I think it's super helpful. And I was trying to learn kanji. I think that's like one of the Japanese, like apparently there's multiple Japanese. I learned that when I had Duolingo. And I learned how to spell teriyaki, and then I stopped. And I already forgot how to spell teriyaki, and I haven't started again, so I'm terrible. Nah, it's more so because I was like trying to learn the Japanese and I was like, wow, this is like actually a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. And maybe I should try to learn Spanish since that's like so applicable. Like that would help me a lot in my life. That would help me get jobs and stuff. But I don't want to learn Spanish. I want to learn Japanese. So when I made that determination that Spanish was gonna be the one, I completely stopped trying to learn. I'm terrible. He said, so you're basically fluent. Yeah. We're vibing. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and move on to his eyes. I haven't been sure how I was gonna approach these. So on my other painting that I did, it was a lot more like of a close-up of his face. So when I did his eyes, I blended the whites with the like red, so it kind of looked like it was glowing. I don't think I can do that here because it's so much smaller. So I think we're just gonna test that out and see how that comes out. Maybe I'll try to do a little blending with it. It'll be fun. All right, this is like killing me. So we're gonna have this like satisfying moment together. So I absolutely hate, like I love cleaning my palette, but like it never comes off like as satisfying as you'd expect. Except for this is like my clear coat, like for some reason comes out like just perfect every time. Oh, I love that. All right, beautiful. Glad we could do that together. All right, let's do his eyes. So right now I am looking at my iPad trying to figure out exactly like what shades I need. It doesn't necessarily look like a super deep red. And actually, I'll go ahead and show y'all what it is showing me. Sorry, I gotta line it up with the DSLR. It's kind of like this weird pink. So I think we're gonna go a little bit redder than that, but we're gonna try to get it as close to that color as possible. Not me looking for my mixing brush, completely forgetting that my mixing brush broke in the beginning of the live. All Alright, so let me go ahead and move my palette a little bit over so you can kind of see a little bit more of what I'm doing. Because, you know, what I'm doing is guessing, actually. That is exactly what I'm doing. We're trying to make this, like, pinkish purplish hue, and I'm not sure how we're going to get there, so we're just going to test a few different things until we do. Alright, so we threw a little bit of blue. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of primary red. Sorry if that was loud. A little drop of that in there. It explains me in a sentence sometimes. Sometimes I say things and I'm like, why do I think this is funny? Like, this is actually really dark. Like, and then I watch SpongeBob and I'm like, wow, maybe it's because I grew up watching this. Like, if you don't believe me, go rewatch some SpongeBob, and then when you find yourself laughing, you're gonna be like, oh god. I kind of got it looking like that purple that it was showing us, but I want it to be a little bit more red, so we're gonna add some more of that. I am gonna say I absolutely hate this as my mixing brush, and I think I'm gonna switch to a new one. It's too big. It's like eating my paint. I'm just now watching Dr. Stone. I'm on episode 20. I love Dr. Stone. Like, I remember Dr. Stone and Fire Force, I think, came out around the same time. Actually, a lot of Fire anime came out around that time. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, literally, that year of anime was so fucking good. It was, like, unrivaled. But I love Dr. Stone. I love science. I'm actually majored in marine biology. So, huge fan of science. I loved the whole thing, the whole concept behind the show. I started reading the manga, but but I did not finish it. And I'm very behind in it now. Alright, I think I'm switching to this as my new mixing brush. I think that is pink enough. Said, I usually listen to anime lo-fi at night when I'm drawing / painting. Usually when I'm drawing or painting, I like to watch anime. Like, I consume an absurd amount of anime. But yeah, I usually will be watching something when I am painting. This is like a rare occasion where I actually need to be the one talking and not listening, so I always choose either regular lo-fi or anime lo-fi. But whenever I found anime lo-fi, I was like, this is different. Like, of course I'm gonna listen to this. He said, I'm stuck on Bleach episode 209 for like a month now. You know, I don't blame you. Bleach is... it's special. It is so fun to watch when you're watching it, and it is also so agonizing. Like, why do you have so many fillers? Why were we in the middle of a fight and now we're wondering why Ichigo forgot his homework? Like, how can y'all do this to me? I will never forgive Bleach for taking you from Hueco Mundo to a school filler. I was like, bruh, we're in a totally different realm right now. How dare you bring Ichigo back to school for a filler episode? Definitely have the filler list pulled up whenever you're watching that show. Because they are unforgiving with their fillers. So I just don't know why, but when I start watching an episode, then I can't stop with it. I tell you what, when I started One Piece back in high school, I don't think I slept for a month until I caught up. And I mean, we were talking about it earlier. I love sleep. So the fact that I wasn't sleeping for One Piece means that, like, at that point in my life, One Piece was more important than sleep. That might also still be true. I'm just kidding. Maybe. Alright, so right now I'm still working on mixing the colors for his eyes. I got the one color made, which I'm still pretty unsure about, and now I'm trying to make the tone that is actually going to be the rest of the eye. God. Let me see if I check it out from this side, how it looks. Oh, I guess it's that color. Y'all, color theory is not real. And, like, when I say that, I mean that, like, it's totally real. Like, I totally get that it is totally real. I don't know how it works. I need to, like, I'm definitely, like, doing my best to learn, but, like, sometimes I'm, like, looking at a color and I'm like, so you're telling me I'm gonna put this on this painting and it's gonna look okay? You just gotta trust it. Like, it works. It works. Said, if I'm gonna start working really soon, I'll probably only sleep like 3 to 4 hours a day, sadly. Some people, like, that works for them. And I envy you people. Like, I wish I only needed 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night. If I physically could operate off of only 3 to 4 hours, I'd be unstoppable. Like, I could do so much. I could get so much done in a day. But I am, like, one of those weird people where, like, I need, like, at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night, or, like, I am a useless human being. Yeah, you'd be in batch 11 by now. Pretty much. Like, I can't tell you how many, like, nights. Like, I wish I could paint every single night. But I can't tell you how often I'm like, okay, guys, like, I'm gonna paint tonight. I get off of work at, like, 5 o'clock. Sorry, I just had, like, a brain fart of, like, what I was doing. But, like, I'll get off of work at 5. I'll, like, do the dishes and maybe some, like, laundry. And fiance will get home. We'll walk our dog. We'll, like, make some dinner, eat, do the dishes. And then it's, like, 10 o'clock. And I'm like, where'd the whole day go? Like, I'm not going to sit down to paint at 9 or 10, like, when I go to bed at 9 or 10. I am a sleepy person. Like, I always get made fun of by my little sister. Because, like, if I call her at, like, 11, she's like, is everything okay? Like, what are you doing up? Do you need something? And I'm like, no, I just wanted to talk. And she's like, you? And yeah, me. It's the same. I require too much sleep. Like, it's a struggle. Alright, so this whole time I've been trying to lighten this pink, and, like, it is just, like, not lightening at the speed I want it to, so I'm gonna split some of it off and just add this literal whole glob of white to it and see if that gives me what I want. That's not even what I wanted. Said my body got used to it after doing this for like 4 to 5 years. Yeah, I wish. I'm trying to get like you, my boy. Alright. Sorry, I'm trying. I guess that's about what I wanted. We're going for it. All right. So now that I've got these two colors, which is what I plan to use for his eyes, I think I'm gonna try to do just like a teeny bit of blending in them to try and get that like glowy look. So in order to get that blending, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of color from both. I'm trying not to like take it from my like teeny tiny little pile. We're gonna go ahead and mix this up so that it makes our blending a little bit more seamless. So my friend tried to beat the world record for not sleeping. He got to 87 hours. Oh! Yeah, no, I'm not being dramatic. I think I would die. I think I would actually die if I stayed up for that long. You were with him for 51 hours? That's still a really long time. I've pulled all-nighters before. I don't think I've stayed up for longer than 36 hours. Like I've never tried to check. Like I've only pulled all-nighters or stayed up that late. Like if I've literally had a reason for doing it, like I had to stay up to like usually exams. Usually it's studying for exams. And even then, like, I just can't do it. Like, I stay up that late and I'm just worthless the next day. Like, I'm a very emotional person. So, like, if I am that tired, like, someone could look at me the next day and be like, oh, hey, your shoe's untied. And I would probably burst into tears. Like, I'm tired. Don't yell at me about my shoe being untied. Alright. Trying to figure out what brush I want to use to try and blend out these eyeballs. So this is random, but do you have to modify the colors at all? Like make them darker or lighter than the original so that it looks better as a painting? Yes and no. I don't always have to do it, but if the person who like requests a painting requests something that's like the lighting was like they were in a sunset setting, but then I'm do that painting on the glass and I'm not including the background in it, it kind of looks weird if they have those like sunset tones on them. So if that happens, which it has happened, but it hasn't happened a lot, what I'll do is I usually will find a different picture of the character and I'll try to like take the colors from that picture and kind of color them over the other picture. It's really tedious and annoying and totally worth it to make it look better on glass. So if I don't feel like being that extra, then usually I'll just have a different painting pulled up at the same time, like in a... Here, I'll go ahead and just grab my Procreate so I can kind of like show you. In Procreate, you can have a reference turned on and you can add like whatever image you want. So like pretend that this is another picture of Robin. And like I actually wanted her hair this color. Like I just have it pulled up in the separate picture so I can color match to this instead of color matching to like this, if that makes sense. All right, and bring Benny back. Hello, Benny. So for his eyes, I'm wondering, let's go ahead and start with doing his little X's. All right. Alright, let's see. now for that like teeny tiny bit of blending that I was talking about. Hopefully this turns out okay. Like it doesn't take up too much of the space. Sorry if my head's in the way. I don't know. If I lean my head into the frame, I am so sorry. I'm definitely working on trying not to do that. But like I said, this is my first stream, so we're learning as we go. Alright, we just gotta give that a peek, make sure it doesn't look terrible. I think that looks okay. So now we're gonna clean up our brush and go ahead and move on to our final color. This right here. Let's get that all blended in. I'll try to avoid getting it in his hair, but if we do, that's okay. We can always clean that up pretty easily. Okay. There's a teeny tiny bit on this side of his hair too. Let's check that. I think that looks all right. The colors look a little off now, just because it doesn't have any of the other colors with it. But once I have the rest of the eye colored in, it's wild like how much it changes. Alright, so let's clean this up. So I saw that we got a little bit of that outside of our outline. All right, moving on to his circle. I haven't been putting this off this whole time. I'm actually really nervous about doing the circle on his eye. So I have been putting that off, but you can't fight the inevitable. Here we go. All right. Sorry, my head's in the frame. I'll like see it out of the corner of my eye on like my phone and I'm like, no. Alright, let's go ahead and blend this in a little bit. Okay. How's that look so far? Y'all may think I'm like crazy for constantly like flipping like when I've barely done this much work, but if you're ever blending like this, it will be your best friend. Like it is in your best interest to constantly like check yourself. Because I can't tell you how many times I've like flipped over a painting and then noticed something that I'm like, what? Like, and it's something that if I had noticed it in that moment, it could have been prevented. Best example I have is like, if you will flip your painting over and have like just a glob somewhere that's just like a little bit of a darker color or lighter color, it just didn't get mixed very well in the spot that you would grabbed it from. And it's something that could have been just like blended in if you caught it while it was wet. But if you didn't catch it, like now it's there forever and you can't do anything about it. So checking yourself is always going to be helpful. I gotta fix how this is blended. This is me checking my work again and again and again. Sorry. Here we are. I don't know if y'all probably can't see it. It's way too small, but there's just like a little bit of like the white that got blended a little bit further down than I'd like. And it's not super noticeable, but I can notice it and I don't like that. So if I can prevent that and fix it now, I'm gonna do my best to see if I can get that all knocked out. So just bear with me for a moment. Come on, Benny. Don't argue with me like this. Alright, that's a little bit better. Boom. We're still doing his eyes. I'm making the gray that is gonna go above his eyes. Well, the gray that's like a part of his eyes. It adds that depth. It's like a small detail that, like, if forgotten, can definitely make a big impact. From what I can tell, it looks like it has a little bit of like a reddish hue to it. So I think that if I use this like pink that's already here, it'll probably make close to what I want in regards to gray. Always be careful if you're using a color from like previous like parts of your work to make another color, because the last thing that you want is to like go back and realize like, oh, I still need that color and you no longer have it. That's happened to me a lot. So don't be like me and make sure that you've already finished up like using that color before you use it to mix on your palette. I think it needs to be a little bit lighter. We're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna take a little bit of this gray and bring it over here to the white and see if that helps make it lighter. You know what? I think it would be better with a little bit of this. You know, one day I'm gonna be a wizard at mixing colors and I'm not even gonna have to think about it. Can't wait for that day to come. There's always artists like that I see that will bust out like 3 paintings in a night, and I'm like, it takes me weeks if I'm trying. I'm trying to get it like you. Switching over to the brush that I made myself. We're gonna go ahead and add in these accents to his eyes. Let's gently, very gently. You can't see the other side, so that looks like that is about there. All right, now for this other side. Alright, you can't really see much of it, but I want to make sure that I add this teeny little corner. Small details matter. I got a little bit in the hair, so I'm going to go ahead and scrape that away. Or just like make it worse. get the feeling that my camera here is gonna like do its silly little shut off. Like, did I call that or did I call that? Like, turn back on. Don't you know I have this disabled? And how did I miss that? Sorry. You remember that conversation a second ago that we were having about like, hey, maybe don't mix your paint before you're like sure that you're done with it? Yeah, well, that's happening right now. So I'm missing a teensy bit of like the white that I had here. Thankfully, I think that I can probably get away with just using regular white or using maybe this pink. We're just gonna go for it. And see if that looks okay. Yeah, it's funny, like I tell you all about my mistakes and then I make that mistake. It's almost like I've done this before or something. We're gonna go ahead and mix this white with a little bit of our gray because the color that is gonna go into his eyes is not like a perfect white. If you're off with your colors like that, like it can just look a little weird. In this case, it would probably be okay, but better safe than sorry, you know? That's my philosophy. And let's go ahead and finish up his eyes, and then it's about 10 o'clock. Man, I did not get nearly as much done as I wanted to. Noted. That means that is definitely going to be something I'm going to have to work on, is trying to use my brain and paint at the same time. All right, so sorry, try not to put my head in the picture there, get him all moved in. Let's go ahead and connect this to the lid because it's not fully all the way down and it's not completely connected, so we have to make sure that we're okay there. I also see a teeny bit of Sharpie. Move that off. Alright, let's go ahead and add it to this eye as well. And then I really appreciate everyone who actually like joined me tonight, since I haven't really said that. Like, thank you guys so much for checking out the stream, checking out the channel, like even just stopping by. I really appreciate it. Like, this is so much fun, and like I'm really glad that I can share like something that I love so much with so many other people. Like, just the fact that other people think it's cool, like, that's so cool. We'll probably go ahead and finish up with the eyes. And then we can give that a peek if we want. Just gotta be gentle so that that doesn't get all messed up at all. Alright, how does that look? So, it's kind of hard for y'all to tell since there's not much done yet, but we got those eyes knocked out. Probably gotta fix this a little bit up here, extend that eyelid a little bit. Definitely gotta clean up the hair a little bit more, because I haven't fully done that. I've been working very slowly as I'm working on that. But yeah, we'll go ahead and call it for today. I'll figure out another day that I want to do some streaming, and I'll probably get a little bit better of a plan going so that I like know what I want to work on ahead of time instead of kind of bouncing those ideas around. I really appreciate, like I said just a moment ago, like really thank y'all so much for joining me today, for like coming over, checking out my stream, checking out my channel, checking out my Instagram. Like I I appreciate all of you, like all the support. It means so much. Like I might just be saying thank you, but like inside I'm definitely like, so like definitely thank y'all. Like I really appreciate all of y'all. So thank y'all so much. Take care. Have a great night.